me go ahead and read a little bit about the introduction. And Dr. Stanislav Grof is a psychiatrist with more than 40 years of experience in research of non-ordinary states of consciousness. In the past, he was principal investigator in a psychedelic research program at the Psychiatric Research Institute in Prague, in Czechoslovakia. He was chief of psychiatric research at the Maryland Psychiatric Research Center, assistant professor of psychiatry at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, and scholar in residency at the Esalen Institute in Big Sur, California. Currently, he's professor of psychology at the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco and Pacifica Graduate School in Santa Barbara, where he conducts professional training programs in holotropic breath work and transpersonal psychology and gives lectures and seminars worldwide. He is one of the founders and chief theoreticians of transpersonal psychology and the founding president of the International Transpersonal Association. Among his publications are over 100 articles in professional journals in the book Realms of Human Unconscious, The Human Encounter with Death with Joan Halifax, LSD Psychotherapy, Beyond the Brain, The Adventure of Self-Discovery, Beyond Death, The Stormy Search for the Self, the last two with Christina Grof, his wife. The Holotropic Mind, what do we have? Books of the Dead, the Manuals of Dying and Living, The Cosmic Game, and a number of other rich works that he has contributed to the scientific field of non-conscious states. And today he will talk to us about the psychology of the future, lessons for modern consciousness research. Dr. Grof, thank you.
Good afternoon. Before I start talking, I would like to thank for the invitation. I really appreciate being here, particularly being here at this very important historical moment from my perspective, which is, return to psychedelic research. There is sort of early pilot study, I hope, beginning of many studies that will come. I would like to start in a very unconventional way. And if you find it too personal, just ignore me. I would get away with it in California. I don't know how things are here. And please don't raise your hand until I finish the sentence. I would like to ask you, how many of you had in your own life some powerful experiences of non-ordinary states? I don't mean just psychedelic. This could be something that happens in spiritual practice, part of meditation, participation in some native ritual, some powerful form of experiential psychotherapy, powerful experience in hypnosis, near-death experience, or experiences that just happen. You don't ask for it, you might not like it, you don't do anything for it, and it happens anyway. So any of those categories, can I ask you? Okay, quite a few people. That helps, because my main focus will be on non-ordinary states of consciousness. Usually when I talk for academic audiences, I start with a few biographical anecdotes, because many of my colleagues have difficulties understanding how somebody with all the right credentials, background in medicine, in psychology, can take something like spirituality or mysticism seriously, can believe that we need something like transpersonal psychology, is giving workshops and writing books with funny, somewhat flaky titles like Beyond the Brain or The Cosmic Game or The Stormy Search for the Self. So I would like to just share something from my history so that you understand how something like this can happen. First of all, I never thought I would be a psychiatrist. I would study medicine. I was much more interested in art. I wanted to be in animated movies. And actually, when I was finishing what would be high school here, we call it gymnasium in Europe, I already had my interview, and I was supposed to start in the film studios in Prague. And just at that time, a friend of mine gave me a book, Introductory Lectures to Psychoanalysis by Freud. And I started reading it in the evening. I got so excited I couldn't go to sleep. I read through the night. And within about 2 days, I decided I would let the animated movies go and I would go study medicine to become a psychoanalyst. I'm sort of mentioning it before because what I will be talking about will take us very far beyond Freudian analysis. I want to sort of somehow describe my initial commitment to Freudian analysis. So I joined a group of analysts who were operating in Prague, and very shortly after then they had to go underground because of the communist putsch. I had 7 years of Freudian training, which was a private arrangement between me and my analyst, because it would have been dangerous for either of us if somebody knew what we were doing. I also had absolutely no exposure to religion, and this goes back to major drama in our family. My parents met in a small Czech town. They fell in love, they wanted to get married, but there was a problem because my father's family had no religious affiliation. My mother's family was strictly Catholic, and the local church in this small Czech town refused to marry them because my father was a pagan by their definition. And so there was a major problem. It seemed like the marriage would not happen at all until my grandparents found a brilliant solution, which was, of course, a major financial donation to the church. And then they relaxed their standards, decided to marry a pagan. My grandparents' dream came true, which is they had a house on Main Street. They could roll carpets from the house across the street, stop traffic, and sort of continue up the stairs to the altar. So the guests could go from the altar right into the house. And my parents got so upset they decided they wouldn't commit me or my brother to any religion, and we should sort of make up our own mind when we come of age. And then from this kind of background, which means I was not participating in any of the classes in religion that my peers were. And then from this background, I would go to medical school. As you know, certainly doesn't cultivate mystical awareness particularly. And in addition, I studied medicine in Prague at the time when we had a Marxist regime. So we would get really the pure